Good evening.
Good evening, Steph.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me loud and clear?
Certainly can.
Thumbs up. Nice to see some friendly faces out there. Lovely picture behind you there, Sarah, of a pub ready to go. Oh, we've got an exciting announcement to make this evening, haven't we?
I don't appear to be on this. Why am I not on it?
It says Michael Davis.
Are you hearing me all right, Steph?
Yes, I can. Just a second. There's a few that haven't got the cameras on.
Yeah.
If you want to put your cameras on, then we can see you. Don't need to put your cameras on if you don't want to, but always nice to see some faces. So, good evening and welcome to this week's Collingham Community Conversation. I'm Steph Wright, and we've got an hour of, I think, very, very interesting conversation, chat, announcements, and a big, big, exciting announcement that the Royal Oak is going to be opening up again. And so Sarah's going to be updating us on that a little bit later on.
Hooray.
So we'll turn all your mics off, and then when you are going to speak, if you can just turn your microphone back on again, then that should work really well. So if I miss you off this list, then do give me a shout if you're contributing this evening. So we're going to start with Karen Valentine. Karen's going to give us an update on the play park, and we're going to put a survey up. So Karen's going to be the first one on, so you'll be ready to go shortly, Karen. I can see you sitting there. I'm going to give you a quick update on walking football. Then we've got Russell Jones from the Angling Club. Have we got Russell here? Looking around, yeah, brilliant. Russell's going to give us an update from the Angling Club. Michael Davis is going to give us an update from Collingham Village Care. And I've seen Michael on there, yes. You've just not got your camera on, Michael. Jane Davis is going to talk about health and well-being, benefits of Reiki and reflexology. And then Kerry Coulton is going to talk about the exciting developments at the Civil War Centre. So that's the first half of this evening's community conversation. And then we've got a big update from Sarah on the Royal Oak, which is great. And then we should be getting Bex on here, and she's going to talk about on the possibility of a Collingham market. So that's really what we're going to do this evening. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on the Newark Business Club event that we've got tomorrow morning, and I'll give you a link for that. And then we're going to finish off with a bit of music and a poem from Jean. So any of you who were on last week would have heard that, and we're going to get a different poem this week. And I thought just around that, we'll just talk about the possibility of doing something around poetry and music that could be a separate thing to the Collingham community conversation. Karen, let's get you mic'd up and give us an update. What's happening around the village?
Just a quick update. Obviously, the government announced last Thursday that parks could reopen. So the guidance landed on Monday morning. So it's been a busy week trying to work out what we can do, what we can't do, how we can make it work. So we are hoping to open Saturday morning as per government guidance.
So Saturday morning, that's the part. Karen, just because we have a lot of people listening on Facebook, so if you just introduce it, who you are.
Sorry, the parish clerk for Collingham.
Yes. and so so the play park on Swinderby Road.
Yeah, and the Pitamy Farm Park, they'll both be open Saturday. There will be restrictions in place. Obviously, we are taking out a few swings at Swinderby Road to make sure of social distancing. We're restricting numbers on certain pieces of equipment, but that's down to parents to supervise their children and sanitize hands, etc., as they see fit.
So is there some rules up down there that explains to people how to use the park?
There will be when I get them printed, laminated and fastened to the gates, yeah.
Okay.
We're just
Okay, brilliant.
finalising the wording.
Right. Okay. Well, that's brilliant news. It's another positive step in the right direction. And you know, it's like all these things. The most important thing is that people abide by the rules that are going to be put out there, so that we don't have to backpedal like is happening in Leicester at the moment. So that's fantastic. And they've also got a survey that you want everybody to complete.
Yeah, we spoke last week about the trains and people's usage and what have you. So based on the questionnaire that you put out on the Zoom forum last week, we've turned it into a Survey Monkey survey, so that people that are watching on Facebook can also participate. So Georgia, I think, is going to publish that link when she publishes the video and everything else later.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Yeah, and it's in the chat as well, so people can click on that and can complete that survey on the chat. But good idea, Karen, to get that out, because there's a much bigger audience that listens on Facebook, and that will get you some good feedback.
Yeah, it was a very small number of people on the Zoom last week, so we didn't feel it was really representative, and we wanted a bigger sample, really.
Yeah, well, the car park's still very, very empty down at the train station.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Brilliant. Anything else from the parish council?
Not at the moment.
No. Brilliant.
No.
Thanks very much for
The
that.
park has kept us very busy all week.
Okay. And your parish council meeting last week, did you get any other visitors to your digital parish council meeting?
We didn't, no.
But everybody, I think if we keep saying it, then you might get one or two people to pop in. But obviously, the parish council meetings are done on Zoom, and members of the public are able to click onto those meetings and join those meetings as you would do if they were physical meetings held at the village hall or at the youth and community centre.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Karen. Right, I'm going to show you a very, very quick video, and this put a smile on my face 2 weeks ago. Pat Douglas organises walking football every fortnight down at the football club. It's played on the AstroTurf down there. It's open to anybody who wants to go down. We're going to play a little video. I'm hoping my team are just about to do that, that I took last time. Last time we played down there 2 weeks ago. So this Sunday we'll be down there again from 10:30 for an hour. You turn up down there, you pay £3. Everybody's welcome. There's usually a men's game and a ladies' game happening down there. The way that they've set it up is it's 3 aside. You don't have a goalkeeper, you don't have a goal, you have a cone at either end that you've got to hit. It sounds like a dreadful game, but I can assure you it's absolutely great fun, great exercise. Our oldest player down there is definitely the wrong side of 80. So we've got all ages down there playing, and it's good fun. So can we play the video? Oh, they're just about to do it. So we'll play it. Oh, here you go. Quick video I took last time I was down there a couple of weeks ago.
Football's back in Collingham. 3 against 3. No tackling. No picking the ball up. You got to hit the cone to score. New rules. Look at this. Social distancing at its best.
Anybody trying to recognise those people? One of them was Julian Nicholson, the butcher. So next time you see Julian, tell him you've seen him kicking a football around as he's walking football. It's not a spectator sport, but it's great fun and it's good exercise. So anybody fancies it, all you need to do is turn up down there, and then Pat will put you on his WhatsApp text list, and he'll text out every time there's a session down there. So that's Collingham walking football. Right, we're going to go from racing about with walking football to the peace and tranquility of sitting next to the Trent or wherever else you might be, and bring in Russell. Tell us what's happening with the Collingham Angling Club.
Yes, well, we've been in the village for over 120 years, the Angling Club, and we've used various establishments for our headquarters. At the moment, we're using the football club, when we're allowed back. But we have 350 what we call paying members, plus we have a large veterans society. They don't pay anything. So it's our club is slowly expanding with lots of pensioners in there. We control a long length of the River Trent from below Cromwell Weir nearly through to Besthorpe, about 305 pegs. Some parts we rent from farmers, other parts we own ourselves. We're quite a reasonable landowner down there. And that's for our river fishermen. And then up at near North Scar, we have a 50-acre complex of about 8 lakes there, which we wholly own. So it's all part of the club. And that's for our lake anglers, our competition anglers, and for our carp anglers. And on the river, there we obviously have specimen anglers fishing for barbel. And we also have matches, competitions on the river. And it's often used for national championships. So we get a lot of anglers in the area. We were one of the first sports to be let out from lockdown. And as a consequence, we've seen an enormous uptake in membership and rod licenses. Normally, we would let probably another 30 people in each year based on people not renewing. This year, it was only 8 because everyone's renewed and everyone's gone fishing. So, and we've seen a fair increase of anglers down on the river, which has its problems, but I think they could all get in. And our bailiff Kai keeps them all under control up there.
Yeah, well, Julian Nicholson was saying that Malcolm was busy fishing.
Yeah, Malcolm is the president of the club. I'm the chairman. We have a number of notable village people been involved in it in the past. And people remember Bill Bailey.
Yeah,
he was an ex-chairman. Cyril Bocock, he was president for many years. And so we have been going quite a long time. So I've been 35 years now.
So Russell, how do people get in touch with the angling club?
They can call me. They can pop in and see Julian. He'll always be a link at the butchers. We've often used him there as a dropping-off point for bits and bobs. But they can call me on my numbers 893 364. We'll get you through to me, and I can point you in the right direction of what you want to do. At the moment, we have a closed membership because we've reached our limit, and we have probably over 100 people on a waiting list already. So,
wow.
So we're reasonably probably one of the most successful small clubs in the country. A lot of that's due to the excellent fishing on the River Trent, with specimen barbel being caught. We recently had a bit of a scare with the hydropower scheme that was mooted to be put on there, which would affect the fishing and some of our pegs, but we managed to fight them off with the help of the parish council. Thank you, Karen. So so it's all well and good at the moment. We are booming at the moment.
Brilliant. Well, no better place to be, really, is there?
No, it's good for, people say it's peace and quiet, and it's good for your mental health to be down there, just either sat there fishing or in a small competition with some of your mates. But it's all run completely so we can social distance as well when we do competitions. So it's all fairly safe. And so we've had no problems with running competitions as well.
Brilliant. Thanks for that update, Russell.
Okay, no problem.
And good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Michael, we're going to bring Michael Davis in to tell us about Collingham Village Care. Give us an update on that.
Thanks, Steph. Good evening, everybody. Michael Davis, Collingham Village Care, present chairman. Not that means much. I'd like to just start quickly by telling you that it's over 35 years old, this little organisation. It was started by 2 or 3 ladies who thought that taking patients to the health centre was a good thing, and they did it for nothing, and they did very well. But now, up to date, we do over 4,000 trips a year. And during the lockdown, we have been still working. We still do our core business, but not so much. But we've been delivering shopping, we've been delivering meds, we've been talking to people, we've been just generally helpful as we can. With the help of the Collingham Pantry, who supply stuff, because we're a registered charity, when we have financial regulations in place, we do the banking for, or we handle money for the pantry. We're now in the business of returning to our core business, which is suddenly taken off again. So now we are taking many passengers and people are going back to work, and we had 23 drivers to begin with, and now we've been working with 8 for the last 8 weeks. So we still don't know how many are going to come back. We hope as many as we can get, but so this is really an appeal, but it's not for money. It's for people that might want to join us and drive for us. It's very flexible. We have short trips, that's Collingham and around, medical centres, hairdressers, blah, blah, blah. Medium, which is local villages in Newark. And then we have long trips, which are all in utterly Nottinghamshire hospitals. We serve about 8 hospitals, which are in Yorkshire, Lincolnshire and Leicestershire, as well as Nottinghamshire. Some of which we've got parking arrangements with, which is good. Others, I'm afraid, you still have to pay. But we have a small grant from Nottinghamshire County Council, but that doesn't, that's basically for the paperwork and running the thing. It's not really for fun. So I'm not asking for money. What I'm asking for is anybody that would feel they can contribute, say, a morning, half a day, one day or several days a week, flexible hours, which can change from week to week. But whatever the offer would be very helpful. It would be really good to hear from anybody out there that can give us a bit of time. I mean, our shopping volunteers have not required a penny, which is absolutely wonderful, and we shall forever be grateful to them. But they're going back to work now, and as it's sort of opening up a bit, hopefully more people, more public will be able to go shopping. The rewards, well, aren't many, I'm afraid. 45 pence per mile, standard miles. We have charts and whatever for that, and gratitude. And the gratitude is the thing that really is wonderful from the patients or the people we take, who can't stop talking about themselves or whatever, which is fine, because they were probably the only person that, she's still laughing, we're the only person they've seen for a week. So we do get, well, you know, we get all sorts of information that I can't pass on. It's terribly personal, a lot of it, but it's wonderful anyway. But, you know, and you feel satisfaction doing something for the community.
So 45 pence a mile will cover everybody's costs of
that's right, yes,
running a vehicle and fuel and everything.
Yes, I mean,
so people aren't out of pocket for doing it.
Oh no. So that's the government allowance, and I find that it pays. I mean, obviously bigger cars are slightly disadvantaged, but I find that it pays for the car to get washed, and also occasionally, and also the license and all the rest of it. So you can, you know, it's a reasonable deal. Yeah. And the last thing I'd like to say is that Brenda Williams, who worked for 20 years tirelessly for the CVC, has decided that she is going to retire.
Right.
We thank her ever so much for her wonderful work. And Bob, of course, who drove for 25 years, I don't think I should be able to match that one. He's also retired, so we thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
So age range, drivers could be any age?
Any age, as long as you've got a current licence. Yeah. They will be DBS checked, but Nottinghamshire pay for that. And we have a full set of rules, I'm afraid, policies. Yeah.
Well, it's been a fantastic organisation for years and years, you know, as I remember in the village. So you know, it's important to get some new blood in there, by the sounds of it.
Well, yes, it is, I'm afraid.
How do people get in touch, Michael?
Well, it's a case of phone or email.
So we'll if we put them up in the chat,
Yes,
and then we'll send those out to people, so people pick that up.
indeed. I mean, our ordinary number that people ring to get us to take them in is a good number to ring, because Jean, my wife, is a coordinator.
Can you put that in the chat then, Michael? So we've got the number in there.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, if you just put the name of the Collingham Village Care and the contact details in there, then we've got those in there.
Fine.
They no doubt are, and I know they are available on the parish website, but it's just useful to get it straight in front of people now, and then if somebody's thinking about this, they can click straight onto it. And
the very last good thing, if I may just say, is we managed to find another coordinator who appeared in the middle of the lockdown, willing to help us. So we're now back to 2, which is absolutely wonderful.
Brilliant.
She hasn't started yet, but we're back to 2.
Who is that person?
Anne Scott.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's me.
Brilliant. Thanks, Michael, for that.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Stay on. Anybody else want to contribute anything on the on either of those, the Collingham Village Care, or anybody got any comments on those? Fantastic organisation. Right, we're just going to move on to Caris Colton, and if we can ask you to unplug your microphone, and we can talk about the Civil War Centre. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me in. I have got a presentation prepared, which I asked about in advance, but you've disabled the screen sharing. Is it possible to undisable that? Yeah, otherwise I'll busk it.
No, we've undisabled it as we speak, so you should be able to do that. And if you keep talking while you get that up.
Yeah, that's fine. Make sure that I actually share the right one.
There you go. Excellent.
There we are. Hopefully everyone can see that. Fabulous, thank you. So if I can just introduce myself, I'm Caris Colton Jones, and I'm the business manager for Heritage and Culture in Newark and Sherwood on behalf of the council. And I have responsibility for the Civil War Centre and Newark Museum, and also our resource centre down on Brunel Drive, which has over 90,000 objects in the collection. Then the Palace Theatre Newark and 1920 Cafe Bar. The Palace, sadly, in its 100th year, has had to close its doors. But we are working very hard at being able to reopen again in the future. And this weekend marks our 100th birthday. Sunday is 100 years since the theatre first opened. So we are doing some stuff on social media around that this weekend. And also Newark Castle and Gardens, which again have obviously been closed, but we are reopening the gardens as of next week. So you're getting quite a lot of information here just ahead of us announcing it. So it's all change at the moment. Very briefly, just to talk a little bit about what we were doing before lockdown happened. We were working with lots of people in our local community. We had a footfall of over 85,000 across our sites, working with lots of children through craft sessions, school visits. Schools come from as far afield as Chester and Worcester to come and learn about the Civil War with us. And we also have an amazing team of volunteers who I did particularly want to highlight this evening, because I do think they do an amazing job for us. We have about 100 volunteers across our sites, and they do a wide range of activity for us. So they're part of our visitor welcome, they work as ushers in the theatre, they help with craft sessions when we've got the summer holiday activities on. They do conservation of some of our objects and logging and archiving, and they look after our Tudor garden at the back of the Civil War Centre. Panto alone takes 900 hours of volunteering in just 4 weeks, so they are an absolutely critical part of what we do. Since lockdown, we have completely removed ourselves, obviously, from the physical building, and so we worked really hard on putting an online presence out there, and I just wanted to highlight that this evening as well, because we've got lots of resources online, and I know that there's lots of people who are still either shielding or feeling quite vulnerable and not yet ready to venture out, and we have got lots of things online that they can have a look at and interact with. So for example, we've got Adam's podcasts there in the left hand corner. He's done a range of stories from the 17th century, We run a mini museum for under fives. So that used to be something we did monthly in the museum. So since we've moved it online, we've got lots of different activities specifically targeted at really young children and getting them engaging with us right from the very start. For people that are definitely more competent at knitting than I am, we've launched our Knitter Battlefield project. And what we've done there is asked for lots and lots of crafters and knitters all across the community to start knitting us a battlefield. So whether it be just a field, because all you can manage is a square of green, or whether you're much more ambitious and can manage a knitted cavalier on horseback, we're hoping that in the future we'll be able to gather all these knitted pieces of work together and create a small exhibition from them to have on display in the museum. And then there's lots of other bits and bobs, there's quizzes, there's all sorts of things. And we did a whole week of work around the Creativity and Wellbeing Week, which was specifically focusing on people's mental well-being and thinking about things that help them to kind of find a little bit of themselves at a time when obviously everyone is feeling incredibly isolated and alone. So lots of different activities there as well. Moving on, we are really excited that we're going to be reopening. Obviously, museums were part of the announcement for the 4th of July. We're not quite going to open on the 14th. And again, you're getting advance notice here that we will be opening on the 15th of July. We're really, really keen to make it a safe, welcoming space to really encourage people to start coming back out. Again, I think people are going to feel quite nervous about the town centre, and it's really important to us that we support people coming back through to us into the town centre and start engaging again and help support the local economy as well. I know that so many businesses are struggling at the moment, and I think it's really important that we're part of that kind of community approach to getting things up and running. And because of that, we are offering free entry to residents of Newark and Sherwood up until the end of August. So it really is just an opportunity for people to come and have a look at us, get out of the house, come and try something new. It's not quite the full museum because we've had to make lots of changes, but I think it's still a really enjoyable visit, and it's something to do, particularly if you've got families and you've been trying to entertain them and school them and do everything else with them whilst also doing your work for the last however many weeks it's been. It's a really good opportunity to get out of the house and do something a bit different. We've obviously made lots of changes to make it safe for people, and we are going to be emphasising that in all our advertising as well, because it's really important that people know that they can trust us with their families to come out. So it's timed entry slots, you can pre-book those online. There's a one-way route around the museum with a new trail to help you go around and pick out key items that you might want to look at in the collection. Floor stickers and signage, hand sanitizers all over the place, all the things that everyone else is doing. We're also doing it there as well. So that was it really, in a nutshell. That's what we've been doing. We're really excited that we're going to be opening our doors again on the 15th. A couple of emails there and websites for you. So if you want more information about the Civil War Centre itself and all those activities and things that I've been talking about, you can find them all online and also on our social media sites. The information about our reopening isn't live yet, but will be in the next couple of days. And if you've got any secret knitters or stitchers out there, we would love to hear from you. Please do email us at civilwarlearninguk@gmail.com. We've got some great projects going on, and alongside all the Civil War stuff, we've also got a project called the Patchwork Palace, which is around the theatre's 100-year anniversary again. Because we weren't able to do all the things we were hoping to do, we are developing a quilt that's going to be stitched by the community. So if anyone's got any memories or images or ideas that they would love to turn into a square for a quilt for us, we would love to hear from you. I think that's it from me.
That fantastic update. Thanks for that, and thanks for giving us some inside information that's not been released to anybody else yet. That we're always pleased to hear that on the Collingham Community Conversation. Yeah, I think that with a lot of kids having been out of school for a long time, a lot of parents, you know, are then taking on quite a lot of responsibility in terms of educating their kids in different ways. And so, what a great opportunity to go down to the museum, to go down to the Civil War Centre and see some of the stuff that's there before it gets busy again.
Indeed, yes. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the summer goes, because obviously people are going to be, they're going to find it difficult to go abroad. There's going to be a lot more people that are either looking for staycations or just staying around their local area. And I really hope that people will check us out whilst we've got this great opportunity and those free admissions.
Does anybody on the Zoom call know of a knitting group in the village? Does anybody know of a knitting group in the village? Or there will be one. So if there is one, please do get in touch. That's a good. I know of somebody that makes the patchworks, and I'm going to pass this on to them and see if it's something that they'd be keen to get involved with. So no, great initiatives, and as always, Newark and Sherwood doing great things for the community. So thanks for that. Right, we'll just have a little bit of a musical segue that takes us from the first bit of the community conversation, which is updates on all sorts of things. We sort of used to have quite a sort of rigid agenda, and we tried to categorise the Collingham community conversation into different categories. That's sort of fallen a little bit by the wayside. And now we just get contributors coming in and we find it difficult to categorise it. So it's really like a bit of a flow on from one thing to another, which I think is fine, to be fair. But I do like to hear a little bit of music just in this segue. So we've got Jean muted. Give us a segue, Mom. Thank you very much indeed. I tell you, is Jane? I'm going to put you in now, and hopefully you're going to talk about health and well-being benefits of recce and reflexology. So if we can unmute your microphone, Jane, we'll bring you on, and then we'll be going to the Royal Oak.
Hello, many thanks for inviting me. My name's Jane Davis. I'm a registered nurse practitioner and working part-time, and I've been looking to develop my holistic therapy business, but during lockdown I obviously haven't been able to do any hands-on. So I actually do aromatherapy, Indian head massage and Reiki, and Reiki is one of the therapies that you can practice distantly. So I've been able to give treatments distantly to about 140 friends, family, colleagues, medical colleagues during lockdown. My husband totted up, I think I've done over 1,000 since March. So yeah, and everybody seems to be feeling the benefits. Much.
How does that work?
Well, I message them all individually every night, and I just sit and focus on them all. And people find it very comforting, knowing that, you know, my little message comes through and they know that I'm thinking about them. And one of my colleagues, her husband was very, very poorly, and he was in intensive care, and he is now at home. So that's a very positive thought.
How do people get in touch with you, Jane?
Well, I can leave my phone number at the end.
Please do. If you put it in the chat,
yes,
then that will get sent out to everybody, and hopefully the phone will ring.
Yes, yeah, and I have a little shepherd's hut in my garden where I practice.
Oh, right. Whereabouts in the village?
In South Scarl, yeah, okay. Morgana, yes.
Brilliant.
So I'll put my address there too.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Jane, for that. So, health and well-being benefits of Reiki, not Reiki, Reiki.
Yes, yeah, Reiki.
And reflexology. Right, now, big drum roll. We're going to go to the Royal Oak. I think just before we bring Sarah in, we'll play a little video that we've got from the Royal Oak. If we can just get that up on the screen. So there was a trial run on Wednesday, yesterday, at the Royal Oak. The pumps were tested. 1 or 2 people had to have half a pint just to make sure that, that the nectar was flowing, and it was. And so things have been set up slightly differently to how they were before. This little video that we're going to play you in any second now will show you how it's all set up. Take it away.
Sanitize their hands.
Oh, it's not starting.
Hello everyone, so we'll be opening on Saturday the 4th of July at 12 o'clock. Following a 2-meter distancing rule, there is tape put down. And once we arrive at the door, we'll need everyone to sanitize their hands, which is touch brief. And then I'll need everyone to produce some form of ID, which we will then, with your host, we will be taking a photo of for the government records. And once you're in, there is a one-way flow system going around the pub, if you could follow that. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all on Saturday. We open at 12 o'clock and look forward to seeing you all again. Thanks.
So Sarah, 12 o'clock Saturday, the pumps are switched on. Tell us all the work that's gone on behind the scenes to get us to this point, because it's not been easy, has it?
No, it's not been a huge amount. 10 days is not a lot of time. So there's been every single member of the team has had coronavirus training. So I've also had Stuart, who you've just seen, and the other supervisors doing more intense infection control training as well as conflict management. We have removed half of the furniture, obviously, because of social distancing. In addition, we've done extremely thorough risk assessments, which should be on the website tomorrow, hopefully, so you can all see the work we put in to make sure it was safe. There is a huge amount of signage and postage. We have had to do certain things like the ladies now, because of the corridor to the new block of toilets, we are now, the ladies will only be able to use the one in the snug just to stop the amount of people crossing over. We have also set up a full one-way system throughout the pub. So you go in through the pub and you come out another door. So you do a full circuit. So you might see bits of the pub you've never seen before if you've not been around the whole thing, because of the way it is. We've also taken part of the car park back for external seating. We've got more outside, even the large garden, people will feel the safest. We have obviously checked all the lines. We've got beer in. All of the real ale is on stillage, ready it was vented this morning, so it's ready to go for Saturday. I'm doing the taste test tomorrow because somebody has to on the real ale. But Steph did help us out yesterday. He was very kind and checked on the keg here, so to make sure it was okay. So I think we're pretty much ready to go. It's been an exhausting week all round. I've obviously been trying to open 15 other pubs for Castle Rock Brewery at the same time, so I'm kind of ready for my drink on Saturday, but I should be having mine before you lot get there.
For those of you who don't know, Sarah not only is absolutely pivotal at the Royal Oak in terms of all the expertise she has, but she does have a day job, and that's with Castle Rock Brewery. So is it 15 other pubs that you're opening?
Well, I've got 19, but I can't open some of them because they're too small. So there's 15 that we're opening.
Yeah, so some pubs won't open just because the physical layout of the pub doesn't work for social distancing.
Not viable.
Do you think out of the pubs that you're opening that the Royal Oak works quite well as a space? Yes,
it does. In fact, it works better than some of the ones that I look after for my day job. Because it's got such a nice flow around it. The way that the refurb was done, you can actually circle it quite easily, whereas some of my others come to a dead halt and I can't run way systems.
Yeah.
And one-way systems are much better for less contact.
So what it's saying here in front of me, you're going to be open on the 4th of July. You'll be open on Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Fridays 12 till 10, Saturday 12 till 10, Sunday 12 till 10. So closing times 10 o'clock at night, going for the foreseeable future.
Well, yes, I mean, if it is extremely busy and everybody's been well behaved, then obviously we can stay open later. But the idea is initially is to try and restrict it so that there is some control, because people haven't been in pubs for a very long time. So we don't want to be encouraging a huge amount of binge drinking in a short time after 3 months of not being in a pub, you know. So that's the reasoning behind it. And also, you know,
just between me and you, Sarah, I think 1 or 2 people have been drinking at home.
Yeah, 1 or 2, yeah. But also, I think with it being a lot of people would prefer to be outside. Well, I don't want the neighbours having people outside later, you know, late at night. It's unfair on the residents in the area. So we've done that with the pubs at Carter Rock as well. It's just because, you know, we're trying to be a bit more community minded, because people are going to prefer to be outside generally, judging by the survey that we put out.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, you know, big thanks to everybody. Obviously, the Royal Oaks Community Pub, lots of volunteers getting involved in helping bring all that together again, and look forward to seeing it open. Stay with us though, Sarah, because we will just come back to you in a minute, and I might also come back to Jack, who I can see there, because we've got Bex on live with us today. Bex will introduce herself, but just before you do, Bex, I'll introduce you very quickly. We played a video of yours about, must be 3 or 4 weeks ago now, about your digital market and how all that works. And now you're normally busy on a Thursday, so you're not able to do it, but you've been freed yourself and you're able to join us today. So Bex, tell us all about what you're doing in Nottingham and what you could do in Collingham if there was an appetite for it.
I am here today, so actually if I turn my camera around, you can see our collection going on as we speak through there. That's our hall, so our customers come in, all the orders are set out here. Can you see that? So all the orders anyway, and then they come out through this playground. It's an old primary school, and we've got our growers network, so there's surplus from one of our growers who sells produce.
It's breaking up a bit, Bex. If you probably spin your camera around and
sorry, basically near the internet connection. It's a bit camera background. There we go. So it's an online weekly market. It's like a click and collect. So people come and pick up the orders and we collate them from all the different producers. We've got 25 different producers with a whole range of your kind of standard everyday grocery items and things. So the market opens and then stays open for 4 days. Then when that closes, the producers get their orders. So then they prepare their orders for the collection and come and deliver it to us. We then put it all together in the boxes and the customers come and collect it with a 1.5 hour window from there. So yeah, I mean, it's working very well in Nottingham, and kind of just wanted to gauge the interest of starting one in Collingham, really.
Well, the conversations that I've had are very positive about it. Linda, one of our district councillors, is very enthusiastic to try to help where she can to make it happen. A little bit of a strange situation. I'll just explain to you. What Linda Dales is saying, that there's actually an 800-year-old bylaw that says that there will be no market within, I can't remember what the mileage is, I think it was 6 or 7 miles of Newark Market. As the crow flies. So this is a bylaw that was set out 800 years ago. So what she's actually talking to David Lloyd, who's the leader of the council, and I think he's also a lawyer as well. And they're going to check that out,
right?
And see what the distance is. She's measured it on a map, and Collingham. I just can't remember what the distance was, but it basically landed about in the middle of Collingham.
Right.
So if you were in If you were in South Collingham, then you'd be a little bit too close to Newark. If you were in North Collingham, then you'd be the right distance away from the Newark market.
Right. Blimey.
They will overcome that problem one way or another.
Yes, well, there's another neighbour food looking to pop up. Wendy, a lady from Carriages, she's setting one up in the Castle train station. So I wonder if they're going to have any issues with that. I wonder if she knows about it. But that's definitely something to look into. Whether it's because it's an online market, maybe it's slightly different. I'm not sure. But yeah, so basically, I mean, I was thinking about whether it would work kind of in line with the Collingham show, so kind of falling as a monthly thing on the third Saturday of the month, potentially starting in August, I thought, but that's just a kind of a rough idea. I know there was some talk about a craft market that could potentially be done in line with that. I'm not sure does anyone know what date that falls on? What day, was it a Tuesday someone mentioned that was a craft market in Collingham?
Stella's, do you want to put your mic on, Stella? Because what I'm really keen to do, because I think it's a really good idea, but somehow Bex has got to get linked up with the right people in Collingham to start to make all this happen.
Yeah, on the Collingham Village Facebook page last year, they were on every week. So she trawls back on that. There'll be loads of stuff there. But I'm sure that was definitely on a Tuesday. But they did some stuff on a Saturday as well. Not every week, but there was a bit of everything there.
Okay, so I think it's good if we can kind of link up with other local things that are going on that potentially it would be more thriving, because ideally we'd need really a minimum of 50 people shopping to make it viable for all the producers. So that's the only kind of and ideally up to about 100, but it's whether you think there'll be the capacity for it in Collingham. I know it's quite a large village, quite a few thousand, aren't there? So potential, I guess.
Yeah, so how do we link you up? So another good link for you is Jack from the co-op, because they've obviously got the car park and everything. You want to switch your mic on, Jack, for a second. And then obviously Sarah's also a very good contact as well. So Jack, how could the co-op on this idea?
I'm sorry, I missed all of that.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking how could the co-op link up with Bex on this idea? Because obviously, you know, I'm not necessarily suggesting that the co-op car park is the right place to do it, but
ideally it would need a covered area. So I don't know whether there is any covered area in the co-op car park that could be used, but as far as I know, it's just like a car park, isn't it? No covered space.
So is the football club, because you do the food bank from the football club, Sarah, don't you?
No, not now. We've moved over to the old co-op building.
Ah, right, okay.
So we moved there a lot on Sunday.
Right, and how long are you there for now?
3 months.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think what we've got here is Bex has got an enthusiasm to do it. It's a model that works in Nottingham. My gut feeling is it would work in Collingham, and it's really a question of getting the right links in place to sort of start to make that happen.
I think the best bet is the Memorial Hall with the girls that are doing the craft fairs, because that's they do it regularly, and it is there. It is covered. It's close to parking.
Yeah, that sounds good. Good idea.
So how could we link Bex up with them? Is that through your contact, Stella?
I've just been there as a shopper. I'm just going to look through the Collingham Village Facebook page while you're jabbering, and I'll see what I can find on there. But it was, now some months ago when they were last there. So I'll see if I can find the lady. If not, their Memorial Hall will know who books it. Yeah. So,
Probably did Google that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think the model's brilliant, because if you just very quick, I know you've recorded a video and explained what the model was, but if you just, in sort of 1 minute, just explain how suppliers can get involved in that. So say you've got the local grocer, or you've got a grower, vegetable grower.
Well, it's about getting the kind of message out to them. So often I go to kind of markets and tell people about it. So, and then they can just go onto the website and just, there's a clicker on become a producer, and then as long as they've got the legal and professional qualifications and the food safety and registration with the local council and things like that, then they can join. Yeah, so basically if anyone had any recommendations of producers they'd like me to contact, I could just get in contact with them and invite them to join. A few producers, that there's a crossover with some of the producers here that would be interested. Like we've got Raw Milk, he was interested in delivering that, and eggs, and Ready Meal lady, she would be interested in, she's on the outskirts of Nottingham, so she would be happy to kind of join. And then yeah, just any leads people have, anyone they want to send me details of, I can contact them, or if produce yourself, then yeah, it's kind of it's a market for the community really. So anyone who's interested in getting involved and forwarding details.
So question now, what's the best contact?
Probably best to email me on the Neighbour Food Nottingham email address. So it's neighbourfood and then nottingham@gmail.com.
neighbourfood@nottinghamgmail.com.
Neighbourfoodnottingham@gmail.com. Yeah.
We'll put that up in the chat because it's probably difficult to do it on your phone out there.
Yeah, it's a bit busy.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thanks for that, Bex. And the only way this is going to go forward is for anybody out there that's got an enthusiasm to get involved, really, to contact you and start to get some horsepower behind it.
Yeah.
But, I think the idea feels to me like a great idea.
Yeah. I think
local. That's what it's all about.
It is, definitely. And a nice resilient food system. So if we do have another episode, we know we can not have to wait for 3 weeks for food deliveries.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Thanks ever so much for that,
All
Bex.
right. Take care.
Thank you, and good luck with the rest of your evening there.
Okay, thanks very much. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Right, so what have I got left here? I have a quick update on the Newark Business Club meeting, which happens tomorrow. And thank you very much, Stella, for telling us that your mother's going to be cooking scones. Kerry will be really, really happy with that. So we'll be over here, clap there from Luella. We'll be over here at about 7:30 in the morning, I think. So we've got the Newark Business Club. So they basically host their digital version of the Newark Business Club from here. They come down and do it from here because we've got our fibre optic broadband connection into the Home of the Future, which enables us to put on events from down here. We've actually done an event this afternoon, really interesting event, which was a poetry competition that a lady in Lincoln organises. It's a regional poetry competition, and the final took place today. It was due to happen at the LPAC building at the university in Lincoln, but obviously with lockdown and social distancing, they had to turn it into a digital event, and the team down here have been working with them to deliver that. Can we put the link up for the Newark Business Club? If anybody, the Newark Business Club is a organisation that anybody can come to a meeting. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be pre-registered for it. Basically, just click on the link. If you don't want to join the Zoom part of it, you can just listen to it. It will be going out on our Gusto Homes Facebook page, the same as this Collingham Community Conversation does. And then they restream it on all sorts of other channels as well. And it gets obviously quite a few hundred people listening into it. So they've got some interesting guests and interesting conversations on there. So that's the Newark Business Club. That kicks off tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And have we got anything else that anybody wants to give us a quick update on? I'm looking around. We've got a few minutes before I pass the musical baton over to Jean to close this hour. Julie's got a camera off. I don't know if that means she doesn't want to tell us anything, but Julie's always got a bit of an interesting update if they've got anything to say, Julie. Anybody else with anything to throw in? And Des, Men in Sheds, I'll remind myself through seeing you. I'm going to try to link you up with a few guys from the development I live on, Woodlands Edge, which is on the edge of the showground at Lincoln. And I've been telling them about Men in Sheds, and they've got great ambitions to develop their own Men in Sheds up there. So they want to come down, have a visit, have a look around what you've got at Collingham.
That's great news.
Sorry?
That's great news.
Yeah, no, they're really, really enthusiastic. So and they've got the idea on how to create a space up there to do it. And somebody's drawing it up as we speak. So I'll be linking you up to them.
Good. They'll be welcome any time. We're moving on, setting a one at Bransby, where the retired horses go.
Right.
There was a trailer in the yard a couple of days ago. We've had that many tools, given to us over the nearly 6 years. We've really set them up with a lot of tools. So hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks' time, they'll be going as well. So more the merrier.
Well, we're literally 3 miles up the road from Bransby, so that would be interesting. If they could go down and have a look at Bransby as well, couldn't they?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, they're having 2 porter cabins, about 30 foot by 10 foot, secure cabins put on that site. They've just got to sort of cross the T's and dot the I's, I suppose you call it, with the landlord, and they're ready to go.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we'll be back in touch with you, Des. I'm pleased to ask you that, because amazing that's happening just down the road from me at Bransby. Okay, so I've got. Oh, I tell you what, I've a big announcement to make before we. We've got Sophie. So Sophie worked with us on our business called Global Grad. So Sophie started working for Global Grad at the beginning of the year. Obviously, well, not obviously, but our Global Grad business sends students all over the world. And obviously, as we went into lockdown, we had to close that business down. At the time, Sophie and the group of students were all out in Vietnam. And so we managed to, after a lot of pain and stress, we managed to get them back from Vietnam. Sophie's been on furlough for a period of time and is now started back working with Gusto. And Sophie's going to be responsible for rolling out the community conversation. So as from this week, we've now got an email address that is specific for the Collingham community conversation. So anybody that's going to send in and contact us and say that they're going to come on the community conversation will contact Sophie, and it'll be via email address collingham@communityconversation.org.uk. So we'll put that up there in the chat box. So that's the new email address, collingham@communityconversation.org.uk. And Sophie, I was hoping that we were just going to get you up on the screen to, well, we're socially distancing, so I've just got to keep slightly away from her. So I'll just step out of shot.
Hello, I'm Sophie. So if you send your emails on the email that Steph just gave you, I'll be the one responding to you guys. So just keep me updated with anything you want going on. You can come back now, Steph.
Thank you, Sophie. So that's Sophie, and she's going to do a great job. And obviously not only supporting the Collingham community conversation, but we've got quite a few people now wanting to start their own community conversations up. So Sophie, and with help from Terry and a few others, will make that happen. Right, that brings us nearly to the end. So we're going to put Jean's microphone on, my mother's microphone on, and she's going to play us out. Now, just before you do, we were chatting about this and thinking, would there be an appetite for something separate to this community conversation, where people Zoom together and perhaps have half an hour of playing music and reading poetry or doing something creative. And if there is, then do contact us, because Mother would be very keen to get involved in that, but wouldn't want to run it. So there might already be a group in the village that's doing it, so please do put your hand up and let us know if somebody's up for that. Over to you, Mother dear.
Wake up, darling, don't sleep too late. The crowfish man's done past our gate this morning, so soon. Sally's crowfish, 2 for a dime. Nobody's crowfish eats like mine this morning, so soon. Around the mountain I must go. If anything happens, let me know this morning, so soon. Wake up, darling, don't sleep too late. The crowfish man's done past our gate this morning, so soon.
So that's a book of folk songs, Mom, is it? That's the book. 80 English folk songs. So just an idea that we had was if there were other people that fancied joining in and learning a folk song, and yeah, not as part of the community conversation, but as something that's completely separate. If anybody had got an appetite for pulling that together, then you've got the Mother there, very keen to get involved. So just again, contact Sophie on the collinghamcommunication.org.uk. Very good, thanks for joining us. If I don't see you tomorrow morning at the Newark Business Club, then I'll see you next week, or I might even see you in the pub. So again, thank you and bye-bye.